Imagine this. It's early morning, for example, 5:40, maybe a little later. The room is quiet. The sun hasn't fully come up yet, and before your feet even touch the floor, you already notice it. Your mouth feels painfully dry. Your tongue sticks to the roof of your mouth. Your lips feel rough. You reach for water immediately because it feels like your body has been without moisture for hours. Most people brush this off. They think, well, I'm getting older. Maybe I slept with my mouth open. Maybe I just need more water. But here's what many adults over 60 never realize. A persistently dry mouth in the morning is sometimes much more than a minor annoyance. In many cases, it can be one of the body's earliest quiet signals that something deeper is happening underneath the surface. And today, we're going to talk about what those signals may actually mean. Not fear, not panic, just awareness. Because the body often whispers long before it starts shouting. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 surprisingly common reasons adults over 60 wake up with dry mouth almost every morning. Some of them are simple, some are easy to overlook, and at least one of them may completely change the way you think about this symptom. We'll also talk about what you can do starting tonight to support your mouth, your sleep, and your overall health more effectively. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, do you wake up with a dry mouth every day, or only once in a while? I'm always interested to see how common these experiences really are. Now, before we get into the causes, let's quickly understand something important. Saliva does much more than most people realize. It protects the teeth, supports digestion, helps control bacteria inside the mouth, keeps tissues comfortable and healthy, and even helps with swallowing and speaking. Your body produces saliva constantly for a reason, so when that system suddenly becomes less active overnight, the body notices. And over time, the effects can extend far beyond simple discomfort. Many adults with chronic dry mouth also experience bad breath, difficulty swallowing, more dental problems, poor sleep, mouth irritation, or frequent thirst throughout the night. Now here's the important part. For many older adults, dry mouth itself is not the root problem. It's often a clue, a signal pointing towards something else happening quietly in the background. Let's start with the most common reason of all. Cause number 5, medications. This surprises many people. One of the most common causes of dry mouth after 60 has nothing to do with aging itself. It's medication side effects. And not just one medication. Sometimes it's the combination. Many common prescriptions may reduce saliva production without people realizing it. This includes certain blood pressure medications, allergy medicines, sleep aids, bladder medications, pain relievers, and antidepressants. Even some over-the-counter products may contribute to dryness overnight. Now here's where things become especially important for older adults. A lot of people over 60 take several medications at the same time, and while each one individually may only cause mild dryness, the combined effect can become much stronger over time. One retired electrician named Martin, age 68, struggled with severe morning dry mouth for nearly a year. He tried mouth sprays, hard candy, different toothpastes, and extra water before bed. Nothing seemed to help. Eventually, his pharmacist reviewed all of his medications together and noticed several products that may have been contributing to the problem. After his physician adjusted the timing of 2 prescriptions, Martin noticed a major improvement within weeks. Not because of a miracle treatment, because someone finally connected the dots. And this is important. Never stop medications on your own, but it is absolutely reasonable to ask, could my medications be contributing to dry mouth? Many people never think to ask that question. Now the next cause is one millions of people live with without realizing it, and dry mouth is often one of the earliest clues. Cause number 4, nighttime mouth breathing and poor sleep quality. A lot of adults wake up with dry mouth because they spend much of the night breathing through their mouth instead of their nose. Sometimes this happens because of congestion, sometimes because of snoring, and sometimes because the airway becomes partially blocked during sleep. Many people have no idea it's happening, but the body notices. When air moves through the mouth hour after hour overnight, moisture evaporates much faster, and the result can feel extreme by morning: dry tongue, sticky mouth, sore throat, bad breath, or waking up repeatedly needing water. Now here's something even more important. Persistent mouth breathing at night is sometimes connected to sleep apnea, and many older adults with sleep apnea do not realize they have it. One woman named Carol, age 71, thought her constant dry mouth simply meant she needed more water. But she also noticed morning fatigue, headaches, and daytime sleepiness. Eventually, a sleep evaluation revealed significant nighttime breathing interruptions. After beginning treatment and improving her sleep habits, she said both her energy and dry mouth improved dramatically. Again, dry mouth wasn't the entire problem. It was one clue among several. Now ask yourself honestly, do you snore loudly, wake up tired, need naps frequently, or wake up gasping or restless? If dry mouth appears alongside those signs, it may be worth discussing sleep quality with a healthcare professional. Because sleep affects far more than energy. It affects circulation, memory, blood pressure, recovery, and overall quality of life. And if you're still here with me, type 2 in the comments so I know you're watching all the way through. Because the next cause quietly affects millions of adults, many of whom don't even realize it yet. Cause number 3. Blood sugar changes the body may be struggling to manage. This is one of the most overlooked connections to dry mouth after 60, and many people don't see it coming. Here's what can happen. When blood sugar remains elevated for long periods of time, the body works harder to remove excess glucose through the kidneys. That process pulls additional fluids from the body. Over time, many people begin feeling more thirsty, more dehydrated, and noticeably drier overnight. And one of the earliest places this often becomes noticeable is inside the mouth. Now here's the difficult part. A lot of adults do not realize blood sugar levels are gradually changing until symptoms become impossible to ignore. The body often sends subtle signals first. Things like frequent urination, especially at night, unusual fatigue, brain fog, blurred vision, slower healing, stronger thirst, or waking up repeatedly needing water. One former accountant named Dennis, age 69, thought his constant nighttime thirst was simply part of getting older. He kept water beside the bed every night. Sometimes he woke up 3 or 4 times just to drink. Eventually, routine blood work revealed blood sugar levels much higher than expected. After working with his doctor and improving several daily habits, he noticed his dry mouth gradually became far less severe. Again, the dry mouth itself was not the root problem. It was one of the body's warning signals. Now this does not mean everyone with dry mouth has diabetes, not at all. But if dry mouth consistently appears alongside fatigue, frequent nighttime urination, unusual thirst, or low energy, it may be wise to ask your doctor about blood sugar testing. Sometimes the earlier these changes are recognized, the easier they are to manage. Now the next cause surprises people because it sounds so simple, but for older adults, it becomes far more important than many realize. Cause number 2, chronic dehydration. A lot of adults immediately respond, "But I drink water all day." And many truly do, but hydration changes with age. As the body gets older, the natural thirst signal often becomes weaker. That means many adults can become mildly dehydrated without feeling especially thirsty. At the same time, kidneys conserve water less efficiently. Certain medications increase fluid loss, and nighttime breathing may remove even more moisture from the body. The result? Many people spend much of the day slightly dehydrated without fully realizing it. And overnight, the effects become much more noticeable. One woman named Eleanor, age 67, believes she stayed well hydrated because she drank coffee, tea, and occasional water throughout the day. But when she began tracking her actual water intake, she realized she was drinking far less plain water than she thought. She also noticed most of her fluids came late in the evening instead of earlier during the day. After gradually improving her daytime hydration habits, her morning dryness became much less intense. Now this part matters. Waiting until you feel thirsty is not always reliable after 60. Many wellness specialists recommend drinking fluids consistently throughout the day rather than depending entirely on thirst signals. And there's another important point many people overlook. Alcohol and excessive caffeine may sometimes worsen dehydration overnight, especially later in the evening. Now before we get to the final cause, I want to say something important. Most people assume dry mouth is only uncomfortable, but over time, reduced saliva may also affect dental health, gum comfort, breathing quality, and even sleep itself. That's why paying attention to this symptom actually matters. Now, the final cause is one many people have never even heard of, yet it affects countless older adults. Cause number 1, an overlooked immune system condition. There's a condition called Sjogren's syndrome that many adults, especially women over 60, live with for years before receiving answers. And one of its most common symptoms is persistent dry mouth. This condition affects the body's moisture-producing glands. That means the mouth may feel unusually dry almost every day. But many people also notice dry eyes, fatigue, joint discomfort, or ongoing irritation that never fully improves. The difficult part is that these symptoms are often dismissed as normal aging. One retired librarian named Susan, age 70, spent years assuming her dry mouth and dry eyes were simply part of getting older. She tried eye drops, mouth rinses, more water, different toothpaste. But nothing explained why the symptoms kept progressing. Eventually, after discussing her symptoms more thoroughly with a specialist, she finally received a proper diagnosis, and for the first time, she understood why her body had been struggling for so long. Now, this condition is not extremely common, but it is commonly overlooked, especially in women over 60. And if dry mouth appears together with dry eyes, joint discomfort, fatigue, or persistent irritation, it may be worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Now let's bring everything together. Cause number 5, certain medications and combinations of medications. Cause number 4, mouth breathing and poor nighttime sleep quality. Cause number 3, blood sugar changes and increased dehydration. Cause number 2, chronic low-level dehydration throughout the day. And cause number 1, an overlooked immune system condition affecting moisture production. Now here's what I really want you to remember from today's video. Your body often gives quiet signals long before major problems develop, and dry mouth may be one of those signals. Not always, not in every case, but enough that it deserves attention instead of dismissal, especially if it keeps happening over and over again. Now here are a few simple steps many people find helpful, starting immediately. Review medications with a pharmacist or doctor. Improve daytime hydration. Reduce alcohol before bed. Pay attention to snoring and sleep quality, and avoid alcohol-based mouth rinses that may worsen dryness. Some people also benefit from using nighttime oral moisturizers, specifically designed for dry mouth support. And finally, please don't ignore symptoms simply because someone says, "That's just aging." Aging changes the body, but persistent symptoms still deserve understanding. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these causes surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments below. And if this video helped you connect the dots about dry mouth and overall health, make sure to like the video and share it with someone over 60 who wakes up thirsty, tired, or uncomfortable almost every morning. You never know who may need this information right now. And subscribe for the next video, because we're going to talk about several nighttime body signals many adults ignore completely, even though they may reveal important clues about circulation, hydration, and sleep quality after 60. Until then, take care of yourself, sleep well, and listen carefully when your body tries to tell you something important. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about before we finish. Because many adults spend years trying to treat dry mouth itself, while completely missing the habits that quietly make it worse every single night. And sometimes, the smallest evening changes create the biggest difference. For example, many people unknowingly dry out the mouth by sleeping with a fan blowing directly toward the face. Others sleep in rooms that are extremely warm or overly dry during colder months, when indoor heating removes moisture from the air. Some wake up repeatedly throughout the night because they eat very salty foods late in the evening, without realizing how much it affects overnight thirst and dehydration. And many adults use alcohol-based mouthwash right before bed, thinking they are helping their mouth stay clean, when in reality, certain products may leave the mouth even drier overnight. One man named Harold, age 72, said he spent years waking up uncomfortable every morning. He assumed it was simply aging, but after making a few surprisingly simple changes, switching mouthwash, drinking more water earlier in the day, using a bedside humidifier, and reducing salty evening snacks, he noticed a dramatic improvement within a month. Not perfect, but noticeably better. And that's something important to remember. The body often responds gradually. Many people expect instant results, but with issues involving sleep, hydration, circulation, and recovery, improvements often happen little by little. Now, I also want to mention dental health briefly, because this matters more than most people realize. Saliva protects the teeth constantly. When saliva production stays low for long periods, bacteria grow more easily, gum irritation becomes more common, and cavities may appear faster than expected. Some adults suddenly begin having dental issues in their late 60s or early 70s and never realize chronic dry mouth may be contributing to the problem. That's why dentists often notice dry mouth long before patients understand what's happening themselves. If your dentist repeatedly mentions dry tissues, gum irritation, or unusual cavity development, pay attention to that conversation. Your mouth may be revealing information about your overall health long before other symptoms become obvious. And there's another part people rarely talk about. Dry mouth also affects quality of life emotionally. Some people become uncomfortable speaking for long periods. Others feel embarrassed about bad breath. Some avoid social situations because their mouth constantly feels uncomfortable or sticky. These things matter. Comfort matters, confidence matters, sleep matters, and you deserve to feel supported, especially as your body changes with age. Now here's a simple nighttime routine many adults find helpful. About 2 hours before bed, begin reducing caffeine and alcohol. Sip water steadily instead of drinking huge amounts all at once before sleep. Avoid very salty late-night snacks. If your bedroom feels dry, consider adding moisture to the air with a humidifier. And if you frequently wake up with your mouth open, try paying attention to sleep position and breathing patterns. Many people notice improvement simply from sleeping slightly elevated or reducing congestion before bed. One retired teacher named Linda, age 66, said she never realized how much her nighttime habits were affecting her mornings. She thought dry mouth was unavoidable. But after improving her hydration schedule and changing several bedtime habits, she told me mornings finally stopped feeling harsh on her body. I think that's a powerful way to describe it, harsh. Because many adults quietly accept discomfort they no longer need to live with. Now, before we end today's video, I want you to remember something very important. Symptoms are information. Not every symptom means something serious. But recurring symptoms deserve attention, especially when they appear consistently. Your body has ways of communicating long before major problems appear. And often, those messages begin with small daily patterns: poor sleep, dry mouth, fatigue, thirst, brain fog, or low energy. The earlier you listen, the more options you usually have. Now I'd love to ask you one final question. How long have you been waking up with dry mouth? Weeks? Months? Years? Leave your answer in the comments below. I read far more comments than people realize, and your experiences often help other viewers feel less alone. And if this video helped you understand your body a little better today, make sure to like the video and share it with someone over 60 who constantly wakes up tired, thirsty, or uncomfortable in the mornings. Sometimes one simple piece of information changes everything. And subscribe for the next video because we're going to talk about several subtle body changes many adults notice in the bathroom at night. Without realizing they may reveal important clues about hydration, circulation, sleep quality, and overall aging after 60. Until then, take care of yourself, stay aware of what your body is trying to tell you, and give yourself the same attention and patience you would give someone you truly care about.